Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing, and we're going to bring you this quick update as I got some food arriving after we had an injury at work. Minor injury, but an injury nonetheless. So I had to take our lovely working lady to the clinic where I met these two giant heifers of massive proportion, very rude, very mean, very unprofessional. And I pray for the people that if they're married to those heifers and yantas, I don't know how you deal with that. Just incredibly rude people, very mean, and a disgrace to the medical field. And they should be ashamed as their parents who are probably deceased, because these two old broads were very old and very heavy. And they deserve to be ashamed of themselves, and their parents, if they are alive, are ashamed of them too, as I am. But as we get on our way to 1,000, 2,000 subscribers, we can look at the Bitcoin. You know what's going on in Bitcoin. We're coming down to see on this orange ring, if we back test, can we hold that 41,413 level and bounce back to the 45,540 level, and then pump past that, right, with our industry exclusive purchasing tool. Hello, look at me, I'm Vincenzo, pivoting and spinning. Hello, as we've diagnosed, sniffed out, and detected this pattern, and now the current part of this pattern, are we going to come back down to this 41,413? And when we back test this, do we hold it and trade up and breach the 45,000 and get bullish and get all the way up here to the 52,000? Or, as we've been talking about and thinking is going to happen from the flush, as we diagnosed, sniffed out, and detected, to keep you 69.69 steps ahead of the competition and the YouTube charlatans and the snake oil salesmen and the hustlers, right? We diagnose, sniff out, and detect it and help you audible into the correct play for a probability-based trade, right? And if you can't hold this $41,413 orange ring, you're going to trade below it again, just like you did here, and become very bearish, and you're going to trade back down to this $39,188 blue ring that's uptrending right here. And when you breach that, your underneath target is 32,540. But we're just going with the time frame we're on now, and in the close-up you can see this orange ring, or the 41,400 level, is coinciding with the blue or the green 200-day trending up. The blue is the 100 and the red is the 50 respectively, right? And if you slip below that, this is the blue ring that you're going to drop down to fairly quickly, 39,000. If you hold support, you're coming back to 45 and a chance at 52. I think it's more likely you end up there than here after you slip past here, right? And then if we look at the Dogecoin, the Dogecoin's the same thing, right? What we're looking at here currently is 15 cents is your underneath support on this descending lower support of this falling channel. And then this blue ring that's uptrending, these are both your support lines right here. If you breach this, you're coming all the way down here where this needs to be at the midway ground between this and the next ring. And the midway ground between that ring is the last line of defense, aka get my shit together zone, or the orange box, right? And that's at 8 cents. So if you breach this descending white line in this blue fib circle at about 15 cents, you're coming down to 8 cents in the top part of that orange last line of defense zone. And if you get bounced off here, your upper target is the upper end of this descending channel of 21 cents, right? So 15 cents lower support. If you break that, you're coming to 8 cents, top part of the orange support box, or the last line of defense. If you can hold this, you're trading up to 21 cents. And the Dogecoin, I think you're more likely to trade down in all of these. And again, we've kept you 69.5 steps ahead of this, as Vincenzo diagnosed out protected, out ahead of the competition and anybody else on YouTube, to let you know that we were in a symmetrical triangle, and then we broke down there, and how you could retest the 72 cents, but then the outside chance of it trading back within to this descending triangle, because we had up until the end of April to beginning of May to trade out of this triangle before we had to make a move. But I told you, when we trade back into this, we were looking at it in the daily time frame, and that's why we always start from a far out time frame and work our way in to make it a super simple, easy way to trade this manipulated market, because how can you have any success at trading and predicting where this price is going to go if you don't know where the price came from? You can't have a way to make a probability-based decision without guessing and gambling. That's why we diagnose the whole chart from the far out to the shorter time frames. And we told you from down here, if this pumped when it was all down here and we started diagnosing it out up here, that we would bottom out right there. Watch the videos from any time when this wicked back December 5th all the way through January 13th, even up here on the 24th of December. We told you it had to come back down and touch there. But when it was in here, we were setting the stage like we like to do, that when it comes down here, often but not always, they like to back test the 72 cents. And then we gave you a 1.69% chance with the rest of this pattern that's left to fulfill. If it pumped up and got back into this symmetrical triangle, the 200-day and the daily time frame is your first rejection point, and it hit there, you should be selling. Your second one is up here, but the second one usually gets hit on a rejection. You come back and back test now as lower support when it used to be upper resistance, but it used to be lower support back here, here, and back here when it was in this triangle, and you got to back test the 72 cent line. And if you hold it, then you trade to this upper resistance, right? And then I showed you how that can get you up to there. But if you get rejected and come here, can't hold support, you quickly trade back down here to the 60 cent level, and then you slip to the 47 cent level. I think that's where you're going, but you could get here or even there based on what happens when you back test this. If you hold this, bounce back up into here, they like to overshoot to get all the jabronis back in by hitting a technical target up here before rolling over and then fulfilling the targeted move out of the symmetrical triangle. After a fake out to the upside, you crash to the 23 cent lower support, right? So that's what we think we got going on here. We're going to keep you up to date. I love all the charlatans in the comments that like to just come out of the woodworks anytime there's a little signs of life in the coins, right? And I haven't forgotten about the housing market update. I've been unfortunately extremely busy, but I will have that housing market, and it's going to be a housing market and a CPI wrapped into one, and it's going to be very powerful, sprinkled in. Let's hear that little sprinkling in of the interest rates hike coming in late March. But I think there's going to be major news before then as we sprinkle in the housing market, the CPI, and a bold Fed prediction that nobody has on here, and a take that nobody and you won't hear anywhere else except exclusively from Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing. Peace and love. Peace and love.